virtual friends. Welcome to our Read Aloud for today. We are on chapter 5 of our book,
Lions at Lunchtime.
Lions at Lunchtime. And if you guys remember, Annie and Jack had just gotten out of the mud, and some of the wildebeest were starting to get stuck in the mud hole. So that's where we are in our story. Oh no, shouted Annie. She raced down the bank until she reached a sandy, clear spot. Here, she called. The wildebeest followed her with their wild eyes. Jack watched in disbelief as the swimmers changed their course. Slowly, all the wildebeest swam to where Annie stood. She waved them in like a traffic policeman. Jack grabbed his backpack. Annie, he cried, let's go before we get trampled. Keep it up, she shouted to the wildebeest as she took off after Jack. They ran farther up the river, away from the incoming wildebeests. Finally, they stopped to catch their breath. They looked back. Everything seemed fine. The wildebeest were scrambling safely over the riverbank. Soon they would graze on the grass prepared by the zebras. Good work, Jack said to Annie. Thanks, she said. Okay, now for our riddle. No, first we've got to get clean, said Jack. You look like you're in a mud suit. High-pitched laughter rang through the air. It sounded mocking and mean. Jack and Annie turned around. They saw two spotted brown animals standing in the tall grass. The creatures had bodies like dogs, but with sloping backs. They laughed again. Does anybody know what kind of animal sounds like it's laughing?
A dog. A lion.
Oh, I'll wait for friends that are raising their hand. Quinn, you know?
Hyena.
Yeah, a hyena. Maybe if you've ever seen the movie
Lion King.
The Lion King, maybe you've seen some hyenas.
The hyena. I lived out in the country, so I actually sometimes see them.
The creatures had bodies like dogs, but with sloping backs. They laughed again. Ha ha, said Annie. You don't look so great yourself. What are they, said Jack. He took out the book. He tried to not get mud on it as he looked for a picture. When he found it, he read aloud. On the African plains, the hyena is the ruling predator after the lion. It makes a sound similar to a high-pitched human laugh. What's predator mean, said Annie. It means it catches things and eats them, said Jack. Oh, said Annie. Yuck. The two hyenas laughed again, and they moved closer to Jack and Annie. Quietly, Jack read more. The hyena has a reputation for being a thief and a coward. Let's see if they are cowards, whispered Annie. Let's try to scare them. The hyenas laughed and moved a little closer. How? Jack asked. Act like a monster, said Annie. Now! Jack and Annie made terrible monster faces. They put out their hands and rushed at the hyenas. Ah! They shouted. The hyenas yelped and scurried off. Scaredy cats, Annie shouted after them. Come on, said Jack. Annie and Jack took off in the other direction. They ran behind a bend in the river. Jack heard the hyena laughter again. It sounded far away. Good, he said. They're gone. Hey, maybe we can wash over there, said Annie. She pointed to the edge of the forest. There was a small pond surrounded by tall grass. Zebras were drinking the water. Yeah, said Jack, if it's safe enough for them to drink. The zebras ignored them as they walked towards the pond.
Hyenas.
Wait, hyenas have spots?
Yeah. I just said hyenas. I thought they were. They don't even brush their teeth.
When they reached the edge of the water, Jack set his heavy pack down in the dry grass. He glanced around. No lions were in sight, but then he heard something. On the far side of the pond, something very big was coming out of the trees. How many pages are in chapter 6? Think we should read on?
Yes.
What do you think it is?
A lion.
A lion.
Spick and Span, Chapter 6. Be still, said Jack. Jack and Annie stood, frozen, as an elephant stepped out of the shadows. It waded into the pond and dipped its trunk into the water. Oh, wow, said Annie. Jack breathed a sigh of relief. Sigh, bud. An elephant wasn't going to chase them and eat them. Still, the elephant was huge. Let's sneak away, said Jack. But I want to watch, said Annie. Fine, said Jack. He was tired of Annie getting sidetracked. I'm going to solve the riddle by myself. I'll meet you back at the treehouse. He turned to go. A spray of water rained down on him. It came from behind. He shouted with surprise and looked back. The elephant's trunk was pointed straight at Annie. Cool, she cried. He's giving me a shower.
Whoa. He's like,
He said, you're all muddy. You need some help with that.
Jack is still muddy.
Still needs some help. The elephant sprayed her again, then again. The mud slowly rolled off her face, her braids, her t-shirt, her shorts, her legs, and her sneakers. I guess the elephant doesn't like dirty kids, said Annie, laughing. Her eyes were squeezed shut. Finally, she was clean and soaking wet. Now it's your turn, she said to Jack. Jack stepped forward and shut his eyes tight. A blast of water hit him. It did feel like a shower, a strong shower. When Jack was clean, the elephant let out a grunt. Then he started to splash himself with the water. Thanks, said Annie. Yeah, thanks, said Jack. I'm spick and span now, said Annie. When the sun dries me off, I'll be like new. Good, said Jack. Now can we get serious? Do you hear how I read that?
Yeah.
Do you think he's probably saying it kind of like that? Directors, do you think that's how he would have said it? Yeah, sounds like he's kind of what?
Scared.
Is he feeling scared right now?
No,
Not again.
Zaya?
tired.
Maybe a little tired.
Maybe he wants to go home.
Maybe he wants to go home. Well, what does he really want to do right now?
Want to get water. Want to finish the riddle.
Yeah, he wants to solve the riddle, and Annie keeps getting sidetracked, so he's feeling a little what, Araya? I don't know if he's feeling sad just yet. Maybe a little bit.
He's feeling
Christian?
Maybe he's feeling like he doesn't have enough water since it's hot.
Well,
He's frustrated.
maybe a little frustrated. How would you feel if you wanted to go do something and your sibling just kept getting sidetracked every time you wanted to go do something? Like if they, if you kept saying, annoyed, yeah. If you kept wanting to do something, like you were on a mission, and they were like, oh, look, a butterfly. Oh, look, an elephant. You'd be like, come on, man, let's go solve the riddle, right? I think he's feeling, have you ever heard the word exasperated?
Yeah.
That's a big word. That kind of means, hey, no thanks. That kind of means he's feeling like, enough is enough, right? Like he's feeling a little bit annoyed.
the books.
Yeah. Okay. He picked up his heavy backpack. We have to figure out the answer to the riddle, so we can leave this place before we run into real trouble. So maybe he is feeling a little scared too. He looked around nervously. Where are the lions, he wondered. A small bird flittered above his head. Hi, said Annie to the bird. Jack turned to look at her. According to the riddle, we're looking for something gold and sweet. What do you want? Annie asked the bird. The bird twittered and flew around Jack and Annie. Its feathers were dull gray, but it had a bright, happy manner. Annie, listen to me, not the bird. Ooh, he's getting even more annoyed, said Jack. The bird kept fluttering around them. She's trying to tell us something, said Annie. Jack let out a long sigh. You are driving me crazy today, he said. But I feel like she needs our help, said Annie. Maybe her babies fell out of the nest. Annie, you can't save every animal in Africa, said Jack. Oh, How is he feeling now?
Frustrated.
Upset.
I don't think he would hurt his sister, but I think he's probably feeling pretty frustrated.
Yeah, that's a girl. You see her hair in the picture?
Hey. This bird is important, said Annie. Trust me. The bird darted towards the trees. It landed on a branch and cocked its head at them. She says follow, said Annie. The bird headed into the forest. Annie started after it. Don't go in there, said Jack. You might run into... There was no need to finish. The bird and Annie had disappeared into the trees. A snake or a lion, Jack said to himself. Come on, Annie called. Jack moaned. He pulled on his pack and ran. The peanut butter jar thumped against his back. So did you hear how, as I was reading, I kind of made my voice change a bit to how Jack was feeling in this story? So I had to pay extra close attention, right, to how he was feeling. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later today in Reader's Workshop. But for now, we are going to transition to Number Corner. Virtual friends, thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow.